Hello everyone, this is part 5 video on past year NEET questions from the topic equilibrium. Now those who are looking at this can probably take a look at the other 4 parts also so that there will be continuity. We'll start with a question that has come in the year 2011. For the reaction N2 plus O2 gives rise to 2NO. The equilibrium constant is K1. So for this reaction the equilibrium constant is K1 and the equilibrium constant K2 is for the second reaction. Second reaction is what? 2NO plus O2 gives rise to 2NO2. What is the equilibrium constant for the reaction? Third reaction. So we need to find what is the equilibrium constant K for the third reaction. What is the third reaction? NO2 gives rise to half N2 plus O2. Now this is a question based upon equilibrium constant modification. See, we have equilibrium constants of two reactions. Let us just write them down. So what are the equilibrium constants? N2 plus O2. I'm not indicating the phases. So this is the first reaction, equilibrium constant K1. Second reaction is what? 2NO plus O2 gives rise to 2NO2. So the equilibrium constant is K2. What is the reaction for which we have to find the equilibrium constant? We have to find the equilibrium constant for this reaction. NO2 gives rise to half N2 plus O2. So for this we have to find what is the equilibrium constant. Now this is a problem based on modification of the equilibrium constants. So the idea is, if you have the first reaction, so let's just give them some first and second. So if you have the first reaction and second reaction, right, we somehow modify them and arrange them such that when we add the modified equations, if you are able to get the unknown equation, right, then as per the equilibrium constants relation, if you have the step reactions, maybe we can have 3 or 4, whatever the step reactions, the product of equilibrium constants of the step reactions will be equal to the overall reaction equilibrium constant. The product of equilibrium constants of the step reaction is equal to the equilibrium constant for the overall reaction. Now the task is what? We have to arrange them as a combination. See, in the unknown equation for which we have to find the equilibrium constant, where is NO2? NO2 is on the left side, reactant side. It is only 1 mole. But in the given reactions, right, NO2 is coming only in the second reaction, but it is on the right side 2 moles. Means first we should reverse it. If you reverse it, right, what is going to happen? If you reverse and write, we will have 2NO2 gives rise to 2NO plus O2. We reversed it. If you reverse it, the equilibrium constant becomes what? Reciprocal. But that is not it. We have to also multiply this by half. If you multiply this by half means what we are going to get? NO2 gives rise to NO plus half O2. When you multiply this by half means the equilibrium constant, right, will be raised to the same power. The equilibrium constant is also raised to the same power. So we have modified. Second equation we modified, okay, and we got equation 3. Then so the NO2 is taken care of. So NO2 is coming here. Now look at it. N2 is there. So we require half N2. In the first equation we have N2, but there is 1 mole of N2, that too on the left side. So we have to do what? We have to reverse it. So reverse, if you reverse it, what we are going to get? 2NO, we are reversing the first one. 2NO gives rise to N2 plus O2. Means, you know, the equilibrium constant becomes what? If you reverse it means it will become reciprocal. But that is not it. We have to multiply this by what? Half. If you multiply this by half means, check it, what is going to come? It is going to be coming as what? NO gives rise to half N2 plus half O2. So accordingly the equilibrium constant, right, will be raised to the same power. 1 by K1 power half. Now this is equation 4. Look at this. If you check the equation 3 and equation 4, right, this is equation 3. The equation 3, this is equation 4. If you add both of them, right, so adding both of them, what we are going to get? Adding both of them, we will be getting, so the NO will be cancelled because 1 mole of NO is on the product side. Here 1 mole of NO is on the reactant side. Next, what is going to come? NO2 gives rise to half N2 plus half O2 plus half O2 is what? O2. So we will get the overall equation. Means by adding the third equation and fourth equation, we are getting the overall equation, right? Means the K value will be equal to what? Product of the equilibrium constants. Means what? 1 by K1 power half into 1 by K2 power half, which is equal to what? 1 by K1 K2 whole power half. Check it. What will be the answer for this one? Option C is going to be the answer. So this is a question based upon modification of the equilibrium constant. Remember, when you reverse the reaction, the equilibrium constant for the modified equation will be what? Reciprocal of the original equilibrium constant. If you multiply equilibrium reaction by a factor, means the modified equation equilibrium constant will be raised to the same power. So whatever the factor we multiply, the equilibrium constant has to be raised to the same power. So this is an important model of question. This has come in quite a number of years. Let's look at another question. This has come in the mains paper 2011. In the qualitative analysis of metals of group 1, so we're talking about the transition metals can be separated from other ions by precipitating them as chloride salts. So it's not, so the classification of group 1, right, is based on the qualitative analysis. A solution initially contains Ag plus and Pb2 plus. The solution is containing what? The Ag plus and then Pb2 plus at a concentration of 0.1 molar. So the initial concentration, right? So initially, what is the concentration of Ag plus? 0.1 molar. What is the Pb2 plus concentration? That is also 0.1 molar. Okay. Aqueous HCl is added to the solution until the chloride ion concentration becomes what? So we are keep on adding HCl so that the chloride ion finally becomes what? 0.1 molar. This is the final. These are what? These two are the initial. Okay. What will be the concentration of Ag plus and Pb2 plus at equilibrium? See, for both these AgCl, right? So AgCl, they are giving the Ksp value. What is the Ksp value? 1.8 into 10 power minus 10. Ksp means what for AgCl? Ag plus concentration into Cl minus concentration. That is 1.8 in 10 power minus 10. See, final Cl minus concentration is what? See, not to bother about what is the initial state. We need to find at equilibrium what is Ag plus concentration, right? Final concentration of Cl minus is what? 0.1, right? So Ag plus equilibrium concentration into 0.1 is equal to 1.8 in 10 power minus 10. Means Ag plus, the equilibrium concentration of Ag plus will be what? It will be, if you take this 0.1 to the other side, it will go to the denominator. Means it is going to come as what? 1.8 in 10 power minus 9 will come. That is the equilibrium concentration of Ag plus. Now, by this itself we will be able to conclude the answer, because if you look at the equilibrium concentration of Ag plus, right, so where we have this 1.8 in 10 power minus 9, it is in option C. We can do the other thing also. For the PbCl2, right, the Ksp value will be what? The Pb2 plus concentration into Cl minus concentration, the square will come. Why? If PbCl2 is dissolving, right, it will give us what? Pb2 plus and 2Cl minus. The factor is 2 here. So this is equal to what? 1.7 into 10 power minus 5. So 0.1 the square will come. So Pb2 plus into 0.1 the square is 1.7 into 10 power minus 5. Means from here the Pb2 plus will be coming as what? 1.7 in 10 power minus 3. The Pb2 plus will be coming as 1.7 in 10 power minus 3 it will come. So this is how, so here it's not about what is the initial concentration of the Ag plus and Pb2 plus, that is just given to mislead us. So what is the basic question? We have the chloride ions concentration to be fixed in both the cases, 0.1 molar, and the Ksp values are given for both the salts. We need to find what is the equilibrium concentration, means the saturation concentration. For that we have to go for the Ksp formula of both the salts. So the correct answer for this is option C. Next we have a question that has come in the year 2010. What is the H plus concentration in mole per liter of a solution that is 0.2 molar in CH3CONA and 0.1 molar in CH3COH? The Ka value for the CH3COH is what? 1.8 in 10 power minus 5. So they are giving us the Ka value for the acid. So if you look at it, right, broadly what happens, the acid will dissociate, but it will be a weak acid. So it will undergo dissociation through equilibrium, CH3COO minus plus H plus. It will undergo through equilibrium. At the same time, there is also going to be the salt dissociation. Salt dissociation, salt being a strong electrolyte, right? It will be able to almost completely dissociate. So which means the CH3COO minus concentration, right? Since this is a weak acid, we can take the CH3COO minus concentration to be almost equal to the salt concentration. The CH3COO minus concentration, we neglect the contribution of the CH3COO minus coming from the acid dissociation. So if you look at the Ka formula for the acid, right? What is the Ka formula? What do we need to find in the question? We need to find what is the H plus ion concentration. So look at this, no? So for this acid, what is the Ka value? Ka is equal to what? The CH3COO minus into H plus by the acid. Okay, so from here what we can write? The H plus value, right? H plus value can be expressed as what? Ka into, we'll take the acid concentration to that side, and so Ka into acid concentration by the CH3COO minus concentration. But what we are considering, CH3COO minus concentration will be approximately equal to the salt concentration. So Ka is 1.8 in 10 power minus 5 into the acid concentration is what? 0.1. So 10 power minus 1 divided by salt concentration is what? 0.2. 0.2 can be written as 2 in 10 power minus 1. So this is cancelled. So what we will be having? 0.9 into 10 power minus 5, or in scientific notation, what is it? 9 into 10 power minus 6. So that is the H plus ion concentration. We can even find the pH also. So if there is a question asking us the pH, we can find pH. The correct answer for this is option D. So what are we doing? Basically, this is a weak acid with a salt of weak acid with strong base. This is a buffer. This is a buffer. In fact, so if you recall, right, from here only we will get the formula. So we will have a formula for pH of a buffer solution, right? That will be coming from this relation only. Next, we have a question based on Kp and Kc relation. In which of the following equilibrium Kc and Kp are not equal? So we have to find in which of them the Kp and Kc values are not equal. See, if what is the relation between Kp and Kc? Kp is equal to Kc into RT power delta Ng. What is delta Ng? Delta Ng will be the change in number of, delta Ng is change in number of gas moles. Delta Ng is change in number of gas moles. This is basically the number of gas moles on the product side minus number of gas moles on the reactant side. See, if you look at option A, right, what is the product side? So we'll just go one by one. If you check option A, the product side number of gas moles is equal to 2. Why? Because 1 and 1. And the reactant side number of gas moles is also equal to 2. So for this, delta Ng will be 0. Hence Kp will be equal to Kc. So when Kp will be equal to Kc, when the delta Ng value is equal to 0. If you look at option B, right, so here reactant side 1 plus 1, 2. Product side also 1 plus 1, 2. So number of gas moles on product side 2, number of gas moles on reactant side is also 2. Look at option C, 1 plus 1, 2. So number of gas moles on product side is 2, number of gas moles on reactant side is also 2. If you look at option D is what? Here 2 plus 1, whereas the product side is only 2. So number of gas moles on product side is 2 and number of gas moles on reactant side is equal to what? 3. So for this case, option D, right, del Ng will be equal to what? The product side gas moles minus reactant side, means 2 minus 3, which will be equal to minus 1. Hence for this one, the Kp value will not be equal to Kc. Correct answer is option D. Next, we have a straight question on the buffer solution. Here we have the pH calculation. In a buffer solution containing equal concentration of B minus and HB, the Kb for B minus is 10 to the power of minus 10, and the pH of the buffer solution is what? So we need to find what is the pH of the buffer solution. See, what is this? If you look at the basic buffer, right? So we have a formula for the basic buffer, POH. POH will be equal to what? pOH is equal to pKb plus log of the anion concentration by the BH concentration. So this is the formula we have for the pOH of the basic buffer. So for the acidic buffer we have the formula in terms of pH. For the basic buffer we have the formula in terms of pOH. Here what they are saying, the concentration of B minus ions is equal to what? The concentration of BH, means this is equal to this. So we'll cancel them, means we'll get log 1. What is log 1? Log 1 is 0, which means pOH value will be equal to what? Simply pKb. What is this pKb means? Minus log kb. Kb is what? 10 power minus 10, right? So which is going to be what? Minus of minus 10 into log 10, which will be equal to what? Simply 10. So this is the pKb value. So pOH will be equal to what? pKb, which means pOH will be equal to simply 10. So if pOH is equal to 10, because they are asking us the pH, right? Assuming we have the conditions to be the room temperature conditions, assuming we have the conditions to be room temperature conditions, right? pH will be equal to what? 14 minus pOH, which is going to be 14 minus 10, which will be equal to 4. The correct answer for this is option B. So we have to remember, for the basic buffer we have the formula for pOH. For the acidic buffer, right, we will have the formula in terms of pH. So both these formulae we have to remember, because we have seen quite a number of years they have asked questions on these. Next we have a kind of straightforward question that has come in the mains 2010 on the equilibrium constant expression. The reaction 2A plus B gives rise to 3C plus D is begun with concentration of A and B both initial 1 molar, means we are having the initial concentration of A and B, both of them are what? 1 molar. When equilibrium is reached, the concentration of D is measured to be 0.25, means final concentration of D is given 0.25. Now the final concentration of D is given, right? Using this we can find what will be the concentration of C, A, B at equilibrium. So we will see how we can find it. What do we need to calculate here? The value of equilibrium constant for the reaction. So we have to find out what is the correct expression for the equilibrium constant. So if you look at this, right, the given balanced equation is what? 2A plus B gives rise to 3C plus D. So this is the initial concentration, right? What is the initial concentration? 1 for A and B, and we assume that C and D are not present initially, so it will be what? 0 and 0. Final concentration of D is given as what? 0.25. See, if you look at this relation, right, for every 1 particle of D produced, 3 particles of C will be produced. Means if 0.25 molar amount of D is produced, means what will be the amount of C that will be produced? 3 times of that. So it is going to be 0.75. So by the time we reach equilibrium, right, by the time we reach equilibrium, what is the concentration of D? 0.25. What will be the concentration of C? It will be 3 times, 0.75. And if you look at this balanced equation, right, for every 1 particle of D produced, 1 particle of B will be consumed, because the factor here is what? 1. Means if you are producing 0.25 molar amount of D, how much amount of B will be consumed? 0.25, same amount of B will be consumed, because if you check this equation, every 1 particle of B on consumption will give us 1 particle of D. Means if you are producing 0.25 molar amount of D, means we should have consumed 0.25 molar amount of B. So 1 is the initial value, 0.25 is consumed, means we have to subtract it. So equilibrium remaining amount is what? 0.75. Similarly, if you look at the relation between D and A, for every 1 particle of A we produce, for every 1 particle of D we produce, right? What is the number of particles of A consumed? 2 particles. Means we are producing 0.25 amount of D, means how much of A must be consumed? 2 times of that, because the balanced equation says what? 2 particles of A gives 1 particle of D. Means we are getting 0.25 amount of D, means we must have consumed double that amount of A. So the amount of A consumed is going to be what? 2 times of 0.25, which is 0.5. Remaining amount will be what? 1 minus 0.5 means 0.5. So we have the equilibrium amounts of A, equilibrium amounts of B, equilibrium amounts of C, and equilibrium amounts of D. Now all that we have to do is just write down the formula. What is the equilibrium constant formula for the balanced equation, right? Product concentration raised to the power C to the power 3. Why 3 will come? Because we have factor 3. into d to the power 1, because there is no factor is 1, divided by a to the power 2 into b. So all we have to do is now substitute. So c is what, 0.75, 0.75 the cube into d is what, 0.25, divided by 0.5 the square into 0.75. Check it, where is this answer? It is option B. 0.75 the cube into 0.25 divided by 0.5 the square into 0.75. Now this question we are solving it based on the relation from stoichiometry. Means, when we are proceeding from the initial state to the equilibrium, how the concentration change of products and concentration change of reactants are related. How they are related? By the help of the stoichiometric factors. Next we have a question that has come in the year 2009. The dissociation constants for acetic acid and HCN. The dissociation constants of the acetic acid and HCl are given. What is the acetic acid? What is acetic acid, by the way? CH3COOH. And HCN, the dissociation constants are given. Means they are giving us the Ka values. What are those values? 1.5 in 10 power minus 5 and 4.5 in 10 power minus 10 respectively. The equilibrium constant for the equilibrium means we have to find the equilibrium constant of the unknown reaction. So this is based upon what? As we already seen some problems, this is based upon relating. It is based upon relating the equilibrium constants. So if you look at, first let us just write down the expressions. See, we have acetic acid. Acetic acid dissociation means what? CH3COOH dissociates to give us CH3COO minus and H plus. So what is the dissociation constant for this? 1.5 in 10 power minus 5. So let's just write down the expression CH3COO minus into H plus divided by acid concentration, that is given to us. Put it as equation 1. Next we have the dissociation of HCN. What is it? HCN will dissociate to give us H plus and Cr minus. For this, the dissociation constant, let's call it as K2. So what is it going to be? Cr minus concentration into H plus concentration products basically, divided by HCN concentration. The value is given. What is the value given to us? 4.5 into 10 power minus 10. So these are the two values given to us. Now using this information, we have to find what? The equilibrium constant of the unknown reaction. So look at this carefully. For the unknown reaction, if we write down the equilibrium constant, right, what is this? Product HCN into CH3COO minus divided by Cn minus into CH3COOH. So if you take a closer look at this expression, right, what is this? This K is nothing but K1 by K2. So if you just do K1 by K2, right, we are going to get the K value. So how we are going to get the, so just look at it. K1, if you divide this by K2, K2 is what? Cn minus into H plus by HCN. So the H plus and H plus is cancelled. HCN will go to the numerator and the denominator will be what? Cn minus and CH3COOH. So if you do K1 by K2, so these are the kind of problems we have on the relation between the equilibrium constant. So K1 by K2 if you do means we will get what? K value. So means K value will be equal to what? K1, which is 1.5 in 10 power minus 5 divided by 4.5 in 10 power minus 10, which will be equal to what? So if you see this 1.5 0.3s, okay, so 1.51s, 1.53s, then this is what? It's like 10 power 5, 1 by 3, which is what? 0.3 in 10 power 5, otherwise approximately. So otherwise we can write it as what? Either we'll say 0.3 in 10 power 5 or 3 into 10 power 4 if you want to use the scientific notation. So what is the correct answer for this? Option C. Either we have 0.3, so 1 by 3 means what? 0.3, right? 0.33 will come. So either we have 0.3 in 10 power 5 or 3 into 10 power 4. The correct answer for this is option C. It's a, all we are doing is just writing down the equilibrium constants, then seeing how the given equilibrium constants are related to the unknown equation equilibrium constant. Here we have a very simple relation. It is what? K1 by K2 is equal to K value. It's a theoretical question. Which of the following molecules acts as a Lewis acid? This is the question that has come in the year 2009. So what is a Lewis acid? It must be electron deficit. So electron deficit molecules, right? Typically the less than octet molecules, that is shown by either the majorly the third group elements, like the compounds of boron, aluminum, or even to some extent the second group elements, because these molecules will be having what? Less than octet structure. So if you look at these options given to us, right, what are the options given to us? OCH3 twice. Here we will clearly see that the oxygen will be having lone pair. This cannot act as a Lewis acid. It will in fact act as a Lewis base. Similarly, PCH3 thrice. Here also, after forming 3 bonds with the methyl groups, phosphorus will still be having a lone pair. Same will be the case of the tertiary amine that is given over here. It also will have what? Lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen. That also will act as a Lewis base. They will not act as Lewis acids. But if you look at this boron, which is bonded to 3 methyl groups, right? I am not talking about the geometry here, just just indicating what is the arrangement of the molecules or how these molecules are linked to each other. So here if you see the boron, after forming 3 bonds, because what is the boron number of valence electrons? 3 electrons. After forming 3 bonds, this is left with nothing, but overall count of electrons is now still what? 6 electrons. This is what the central atom is electron deficit. Just like the other boron molecules like BF3, all of them are also what? Electron deficit molecules. So here electron deficit molecules, the central atom boron will be able to accept lone pairs. The ability of an atom or a molecule to accept lone pair of electrons is what we categorize as the Lewis acid nature. So what is the substance that can act as a Lewis acid here? It is option D. Next we have another question that has come in the year 2009. This is based on the relation between the hydrolysis constant KH, KW and KB. So look at this, the ionization constant of ammonium hydroxide means Kb. Ammonium hydroxide is what? NH4OH. So Kb for NH4OH is what? 1.77 in 10 power minus 5 at 298 Kelvin, means 25 degrees centigrade. The hydrolysis constant of ammonium chloride is, means we have to find out what is the hydrolysis constant of ammonium chloride. So if you have ammonium chloride, what is ammonium chloride? It is a salt of weak base ammonium hydroxide with a strong acid HCl. So for this category of salts, right, we have a formula for the hydrolysis constants. So for the salt of weak base with a strong acid, we have the formula for the hydrolysis constant KH. In fact, this is related to the Kb value and Kw value. So just in case you are not able to recall the formula, we will quickly derive that, and henceforth in further questions, right, we will try to use this formula. So look at this. Let's say we have a salt Ma, which is salt of a strong acid and a weak base. Now on dissolving, right, it will produce M plus ions, which are the ions related to the base, like in this case, right. So if you look at NH4Cl, what is the M plus representing? NH4 plus. Now the NH4 plus ions are the ones that will undergo hydrolysis. What is hydrolysis? Reaction of the ions of either the weak acid or weak base with water. That is what we call as the hydrolysis, right? So look at this. The M plus means, here what we can think of it as NH4 plus. M plus will react with water to produce H plus and MOH. This is like what? In this case NH4OH. Now the equilibrium constant for this reaction is what? H plus into MOH by M plus into H2O. We are doing the general derivation. Here the water is a pure solvent. So we will take the concentration of water to be what? The active mass of water to be unity. And we will have a modified, by bringing it to the left hand side, we will have a modified constant. The modified constant is what we call as the hydrolysis constant. The modified constant is what we call as what? Hydrolysis constant, which is what? Just H plus into MOH by M plus. This is the KH value. And if you look at what is KW? What is KW? Ionic product of water. H plus into OH minus. What is KB? So if you have the base, right, the base is what? MOH, and dissociation will give us what? M plus and OH minus. What is KB formula? M plus into OH minus by MOH. We can always think of it like what? The example here, what is the corresponding base here? NH4OH, right? And dissociation gives what? NH4 plus and OH minus. So this is the KB value. If you just look at the relation KW by KB, if you do KW by KB, right, what we are going to be getting is, we can see that the OH minus is cancelled. So the MOH will go to the numerator. H plus into MOH by M plus. What is this? This is nothing but our KH value. So the relation is what? KH is equal to KW by KB. So if you have the salt of weak base with a strong acid, for that what is the KH formula? KH is equal to KW by KB. Similarly, if you have salt of weak acid with a strong base, in that case the hydrolysis will happen for the ions from the acid. So in that case the formula for KH will be KW by Ka will come. So we'll have analogous formula. In this case the formula will be what? KH is equal to KW by Ka. So we have to remember these relations. Now let's come back to our question. What is our question? The ionization constant of ammonium hydroxide, means Kb, is given at 298 Kelvin. At 298 Kelvin, what is the Kw value? 10 to the power of minus 14. So we have to find what is the hydrolysis constant of ammonium chloride. It's a formula now, right? So ammonium chloride is what? It's a salt of strong acid, HCl, and weak base. What is the weak base? Ammonium hydroxide. So what is the formula for the hydrolysis constant? KH is equal to what? KW by KB. The hydrolysis constant formula will be what? KH is equal to KW by KB, which means we have the KB value is what? 1.77 in 10 power minus 5. KW is, because it is 298 Kelvin, KW is 10 power minus 14. So KH will be equal to what? KW by KB. KW is what? 10 to the power of minus 14 divided by 1.77 in 10 power minus 5. So we can check, this will be 10 power minus 9 on cancelling. So 1 by 1.77 into 10 power minus 9. So that will be how much? 0.565 if you just do the simplification part of it into 10 power minus 9. Otherwise, if you want to write this in scientific notation, means it will be equal to what? 5.65 into 10 power minus 10. So what will be the answer for this? It is option D. It's a straight formula question if you remember the formula. So we have to remember the formula for the hydrolysis constant of salt of an weak acid strong base and weak base and strong acid. These are the two formulae we have. So this is about the part video, and we'll see in the next part.